Okay, YouTube fam, here we go. This is the Behringer X32P, P for producer. Now, you get it straight out of the box, and as the name of this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I got out of the box and what I did and what connections I made. So first was getting it connected to the computer. Okay, that's first. Get it connected to the computer. Once you power it on, your system's on, your system's going to recognize the USB, and then it's going to recognize that it doesn't have the drivers. You want to go out, do what it says to get the drivers installed, and you'll see them, and this is for FL Studio now. You'll see them in your options under, of course, audio settings, and then you'll get to this point where you have the USB under ASIO devices, and you'll have your XUSB ASIO driver, and that's where you want to be. All right, so get to that point, and then what was happening for me, I got everything set up. So that means I plugged in my monitors. I'm using a little sound bar with a subwoofer down there, sound bar with a 10-inch subwoofer as one set of monitors, so I can have a reference monitor, and then I have my true studio reference monitors. Those will go out of your true monitors, will go out of the back of the board, and it would be as your main volume on your outs 7 and 8. You'll see channel 7, channel 8, left, right. Okay, so once you get everything set up, your drivers are installed, you opened up Fruity Loops, you selected the XUSB ASIO drivers, you selected that in your audio, and boom, you're finally up. Now in your mixer on FL Studio, you're going to make sure that on your main mixer out over here, your main mixer out, you want to make sure that your output is set for 1 and 2, okay? Because it's going to show you the XUSB ASIO driver, and you want, and you see it says stereo, and you want 1 and 2 out, okay? So that gives you 1 and 2 out. Let's turn it up for some volume. Get a little volume so you can hear what I'm talking about. Okay, it says 1 and 2 out. Okay. Now, before you get to this point, you got to go do some settings in your studio. This is your producer, your X32P producer. And that's going to come into where your routing goes. Okay, so your routing setup's going to look like this. All right, that's in the home page. This is what you want as far as your writer. And then you want this right here to say card out. Okay. Now, you also need to use your little arrow button over here. Little arrow button to the right. You want to go over to the right, and you want to make sure your card out is going to be local 1 through 8. 9 through 16, and this is what you want for your card out, because you're telling the X32P what you want your sound card to do, and this USB sound card on the back of the machine or mixer to let the sound go out. Okay, and you don't need these because you don't have it. And then XLR out, you're going to have one set to 1 through 4, and XLR 5 through 8. Because now the XLRs, again, you should be running XLR for your main outs. Okay, now I did that. I set it up just like that. I watched videos, got it going. I was getting sound. But then I noticed that when I panned left and right on my mixer, I wasn't getting stereo. And I said, well, the card takes this X32P, the producer, takes the 1 and 2 out of FL Studio, brings it in on its auxiliary channel. Okay, and here it is. I have it lit up green right here. Here's your auxiliary. Your auxiliary or aux in 1 through 6 USB. Okay, so it's letting you know this is where its sound's coming into. All right, and it pops these 2 faders. Well, just 1 fader, because in order for you to make these faders link together and to get stereo, this is what you have to do. Once you get to this stage and you have the sound working, you have your mains working out, and you said, man, I finally got the card up and working, sound's coming through, you have to go in here and select each channel. And now I'm going to do a little thing. I'm going to select, and I want you to watch this button right here. Okay, I'm going to select. Did you see the switch? I want you to look at this right here. That switch up here. That little knob, that controller knob. When I go from left button, it's going from left to right. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay. If I select another button over here, it goes center because there's nothing on it. I have no channel selects on it. Okay. What if I go back up here to my main, which is right here? It's my main inputs, main XLR inputs. Okay. If I hit select, watch the buttons over here. When I hit select on tracks 1, 2, and 3, watch this button up here. Okay. It disappeared. The main bus goes off. All right. So you select all these, and this should go off. I've been fooling with this, but when you first come into the board, those won't light up because there's nothing there. Now, when you're back here on your auxiliary in 1 through 6, again, you will not have stereo. You will be able to move these individually, and your volume will change, but you won't get left and right. In order to get left and right, you have to select the channel, go up here into the actual channel select menu, and if you can see, I have it set to PC up here. This says PC auxiliary channel 1, which is left. And how you know it's, well, I set it to left, but when you look at it from straight out the box, this little button right down here, this controller, and I don't have enough light, but this controller right here, or knob, if you twist it, you get the pan left and right. You have to code the channel 7 and 8, or 1 and 2, left, right. So this auxiliary channel 1, is left, auxiliary channel 2 is right. And when I press that button, you'll see it change where it says pan left 100%. I'm going to switch it over. Pan right 100%. Then you want to click link. This will link those 2 channels together. It would tell the main, it will tell the main bus of the mixer that you want auxiliary 1 and 2 to be left and right. That's how you get stereo. That's how you get stereo out of this thing. I struggled, couldn't understand, like, why am I not getting stereo? I'm trying to do a mix down on a song and I can't get stereo. Makes no freaking sense. But you have to tell the board that you want channels 1 and 2 to come in left and right, so you can have stereo. And oh my goodness, it made such a difference. My monitors finally came alive. I'm like, yo, I spent, $300 on these bad boys. They're not sounding great. I'm not getting stereo. What the freak? And so I was getting frustrated. So I finally had to reach out. And let me tell you something. It was amazing, the sound difference. Now, let me go to part 2 of this video. You've seen videos on how to connect this to make it work with the DAW, okay? Meaning that this can be the controller as well. So let me get out of that channel, the auxiliary channel, and there's a couple steps you have to do. Now, if you watched any of the videos about making this be a DAW controller, so the mixer, so your faders will work with the faders on the computer. You saw the videos where you might have to go in here, which, I'm sorry for this wobbly camera, but I'm using my phone. You have to go in here to the setup. So you'll click on the setup button, and you go into the actual setup. Then you got to go in here and make sure your 44.1. Naturally, I'm sorry. You need to make sure that 44.1 is set once you upload the board and connect it to FL Studio, or you're going to get an error. and that's where you got to go set up. So you make sure you're setting up this board first to do 444.1 kilohertz on sample rate. Okay, and then you use the arrow, come over to remote. Now you've seen the videos where you said the Mackie control, the card, all that stuff. You've seen those videos. Then you want card MIDI. This one right here, where it says factory post CC, you do not want that selected. The reason why is because by native, the board is going to want, once you put it in DAW mode, there's this mix bus down here. This main mix bus is connected to those controls for MIDI, and it's by nature by the board. It comes from the factory that way. If you select this and you notice these start jumping and twitching and stuff when you're playing a file, that means it's picking up actual information from the DAW on how on what to control. So for example, I'm gonna go ahead. I did all this. I did the videos you guys seen of how to connect the DAW to the board for DAW control. Okay, you got your Ethernet cable, your 45 coming out, your Ethernet cable coming out of the back of the board, going into the computer for your Ethernet connection. So, what the world? Why am I? I'm gonna turn this back right. Now, watch this. We'll go DAW Ethernet control. And there they go. All of them are jumping to the music, okay? I'm reading my meters. I could pull faders with faders up and down. Okay? Watch this. Faders work vice versa. I'll get them to work with just the control of the mouse on the Fruity Loops. Okay? Now, here's the thing. You only control these first 8 banks. Okay? And it's just the way the emulator is. There's only one emulator chip on the board. It's going to only let you control the first 8 banks. And the first 8 controllers on the board, on the mixer in the DAW. The way to get around that is this. Select the first one. You see them going, watch because I'm selected each 7, 8, okay? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1. All right? So I'm gonna pull them down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My first 8 are gone. All right? Let me pull them back up for the music. But I'm going to bring them back down for this example, okay? All 8 are down. What about the next set? Because I only have 8 that you can control over here. Well, if you go in and program where these are assignable, you assign these buttons. I have number 1 set to click over another bank. Watch this. I'm going to click 2. And it's going to take me back a bank. That's the first bank. Second bank. Third bank. Fourth bank. Take it back to 1. So that's bank number 1. And this is how I'll show you. This one's selected. One is selected here by this green. That one is selected. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's bank 8. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the next bank of 8. And I'm going to pull down 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to go to the next bank. Well, let's leave that up. Okay. I'm going to go to the next bank on the controller. Pull down 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and so on and so forth. So now that each bank is being controlled by these assignable buttons. So let me go back to, I'm going to pull these all back up. And I'm going to go back. I've set number 2 to go back. Pull these back up. Go back. Pull these back up. Now I'm back to my original 8 bank. I'm sorry, my 16 banks. And now I'm back to my original 8 banks. No, I'm sorry, I skipped a bank. So now I'm back to my original 8 banks. Now, how do we do this? How do we set these assignments to assign the bank? You hit the assignment button. It's right here on the banks. On these assignable programmable buttons. You hit view. And then you go in here and you select the next set A. Now look at this. Button number 1. I'm going to use the down arrow, use the select wheel and look at button number 1. And what's that parameter? Remote button 1, bank right. The next button. Number 2, bank left. The next button. Number 3, stop. I'm playing the music. Button number 3. Where's button number 3? Button number 3 stops my music. Button number 4 plays my music. See, that's how you do it. So guys, I'm sorry I made the video long. If you watched any other videos, now you understand why I had to do this one, because no one was really making videos for the producer edition, the X32 producer for FL Studio. Okay, FL Studio, and I'm running 12 because I just fell in love with 12 and I love it. I'm ready to upgrade. I'm gonna see what other things you have in store, but it works. The reason why I went with this is because I was using this little Focusrite, and that's a huge upgrade. But I've had experiences with mixers before, but none to where I really had so much control in the back end with the back end software of the digital mixer. And I think that's the reason why everybody's going to digital. This board is 5 years old. It came out 5 years ago, and now it's still becoming a relevant part of people's small studios because it's digital, and it still offers you that good, quality studio feel. Good solid metal, and it's just sturdy, Now, my quirk with some of this is the people who are buying this because they are home producers. Most people are using a drum machine, a couple keyboards, a few instruments you're tying in. Not everybody's tying in all 32 tracks, and the most someone's doing is maybe 8, and that's a little, if more than 8, it's because they have a drum set and they're picking up different mics. But if you're doing a producer edition, you made the board smaller than the regular X32, the big board, maybe some of the features in the back end don't need to be as complex as the big board, because they're not using it in the, they're not going to use it in the house or church house. It's in their home. So maybe if they could have dialed back some of this to where it's kind of more simplified for a home music producer or producer small studio, I think that would have been best. But outside of that, this bad boy rocks. The sound quality that comes in from a drum machine, that comes in from the mics, beat something like this any day. When you can come in and you can make your sounds crisp, you can add in your EQs, you can add some effects on the board, let the board process some of it and take some of the strain off your computer. That's just a slice of heaven itself, So hey, that's it. Time's up. I just wanted you guys to, understand how to get the stereo sound in here so you have left and right ability. And now you can really master out your tracks. Good luck.